In some bad news for Lucid stock investors, the company came out with the first quarter production and delivery figures on April 13th after the markets closed, and the stock is down almost 4% after this news came out. The company produced 2,314 vehicles during the first quarter at its manufacturing facility in Arizona, but the bad news is that it delivered only 1,406 vehicles during this period. The gap between the production and delivery suggests that Lucid is having a hard time completing those pre-orders into sales. Now remember, customers can make an order, but they don't and place a small deposit, but they don't necessarily have to buy the car when it's ready. And that's been happening more often than not for Lucid as it struggles to ramp up sales along with production. For the longest time, production was the constraint for the company, and now it looks like sales is the constraint for the company. Already, Lucid disappointed investors by saying they are only going to produce just 10 to 14,000 units in 2023 overall. The first quarter pace of 2,300 is below the overall rate. That would suggest, if you multiply this by 4 and annualize it, well, I guess it would be, let's see, 8,000 plus, it would be around 9,200 vehicles produced for the year if Lucid sustained this pace throughout the year, which would be below the 10,000 to 4,000 estimate. The problem with that is they're not even selling enough to produce that many. So even that figure of 10,000 to 14,000 seems like it may need to be reduced, because at this rate, selling just 1,406 vehicles in the first quarter, annualizing that rate would just get you to about 5,600. So let's say we allow for some seasonality here and saying, you know what, the fourth quarter sales are probably going to be higher. So let's say even if you give it an extra 1,500 units in the fourth quarter, that would still bring it to total sales of around 8,000 units for the year. So I don't think Lucid would be interested in producing 10 to 14,000 if it's only going to be able to sell 8,000 units for the year, as capital is not something that Lucid has in abundance. It would not want to tie up all that extra capital in inventory when it doesn't have buyers for that inventory locked in. So overall, this is bad news for Lucid stock investors for the first quarter, and that's understandable to see the stock price down 4% after this news came out. I would not be surprised if the stock price was to fall further, because what I have here is the forward price to sales ratio of Lucid, Tesla, Rivian, and Polestar. And looking at these companies' forward price to sales, Lucid is the most expensive out of any of these EV automakers at a forward price to sales of 4.55. So it's got the highest prospects or good news, you can say, priced into its valuation. So any missteps, any shortcomings are likely to bring the stock price down more than usual. And also on the flip side, any progress that's better than usual could also lift the stock price, but it's got more downside than upside, I believe, because of that premium valuation above the market. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. And one other note I wanted to make in this video: Lucid is comparable to Tesla's Model S and Model X in terms of pricing. Unfortunately, Tesla didn't break out the Model S, which is the sedan specifically, and it included the Model X, which is the SUV, in its figures. But Tesla experienced a similar headwind in its production update on April 2nd earlier this month, it produced 19,437 of its higher priced Model S and Model X cars and only delivered 10,695. So Tesla also overestimated customer demand, thinking there was more demand for its cars, when it turns out, you know what? Not that many people want to pay 70, 80, 90, $100,000 for an electric vehicle. And this figure from Tesla was a decrease from the last year. So luxury sales of electric vehicles, the demand does not seem to be very robust right now. Demand does not seem to be very robust, and it could get even worse as the economy continues its economic slowdown and macroeconomic factors reduce consumer enthusiasm to pay luxury prices, to buy luxury cars overall, but especially luxury electric vehicles. So unfortunately, bad news for Lucid stock investors here in the first quarter. Hopefully the second quarter will be better and Lucid can complete the year on a strong note, because in my opinion, out of all of those four EV companies I mentioned, Lucid has, in my opinion, the best looking electric vehicles out there. I mean, the cars are just beautiful, and I'm hoping for the company to achieve more success because I'd like to see more of these cars on the road personally. So that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I've selected a video that I think you'll enjoy. It's popping up on your screen right now, so please click on that and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for watching.